ਧਿਆਨ ਕਿਛ ਕਰਮ ਨ ਜਾਣਾ, ਸਾਰ ਨ ਜਾਣਾ ਤੇਰੀ। ਸਭ ਤੇ ਵੱਡਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ, ਜਿਨ ਕਲ ਰਾਖੀ ਮੇਰੀ। ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਨਾਨਕ ਅੰਗਦ ਗੁਰੂ, ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਸੁਖ ਕੰਦ, ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਅਰਜਨ ਗੁਰੂ, ਵਰ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਹਰਗੋਬਿੰਦ। ਹਰਿ ਰਾਏ ਹਰਿ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨ ਗੁਰ, ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਚੰਦ। ਦਸਵੇਂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਗੁਰੂ, ਨਮੋ ਚਰਨ ਅਰਬੰਦ। ਜਿਸ ਮਹਿ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਗਿਆਨ ਹੈ, ਮਾਣਕ ਭਗਤ ਵਰਾਗ। ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਉਦਦ, ਬੰਦੋਹ ਕਰ ਅਨੁਰਾਗ। ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਕਮਾਏ ਜਿਨ, ਜੀਤੇ ਪੰਜ ਬਿਕਾਰ। ਤਿਨ ਸੰਤਨ ਕੋ ਬੰਦਨਾ, ਸਿਰ ਚਰਨਨ ਭਗਤਾਰ। ਸੰਤ ਸਰਣ ਜੋ ਜਨ ਪਰੇ, ਸੋ ਜਨ ਉਦਰਨ ਹਾਰ। ਸੰਤ ਕੀ ਨਿੰਦਾ ਨਾਨਕਾ, ਬੌਰ ਬੌਰ ਅਵਤਾਰ। ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ। ਸ਼ਲੋਕ ਸਹਿਸਕ੍ਰਿਤੀ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਪੰਜਵਾਂ। ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ, ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ, ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ। ਕਤੰਚ ਮਾਤਾ ਕਤੰਚ ਪਿਤਾ, ਕਤੰਚ ਬਨਤਾ ਬਿਨੋਦ ਸੁਤ ਹੈ। ਕਤੰਚ ਭਰਾਤ ਮੀਤ ਹਿਤ ਬੰਧਵ, ਕਤੰਚ ਮੋਹ ਕੁਟੰਬਯਤੇ। ਕਤੰਚ ਚਪਲ ਮੋਹਨੀ ਰੂਪੰ, ਪੇਖੰਤੇ ਤਿਆਗੰ ਕਰੋਤ। ਰਹੰਤ ਸੰਗ ਭਗਵਾਨ ਸਿਮਰਨ, ਨਾਨਕ ਲਬਧਯੰ ਅਚੁਤ ਤਨ ਹੈ। ਕਤੰਚ ਮਾਤਾ ਕਤੰਚ ਪਿਤਾ, ਕਤੰਚ ਬਣਤਾ ਬਿਨੋਦ ਸੁਤ ਹੈ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਪਰਮ ਸਨਮਾਨਯੋਗ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, we are gathered, you are watching this for the second day. Sadhguru ji has blessed us with another day, a nitnem of Panj Banis and Gur Mantar and Mool Mantar, and now Sadhguru Sahib ji is blessing us with the Amrit Katha, Sabte Uttam Har Ki Katha, Naam Sunt Dard Dukh Latha. As you all know, as you're all aware, Sevadar of the Guru Khalsa Panth of the Guru Sangat, Bhai Jagraj Singh, they departed from their body, they left this world only 2 days ago. Bhai Jagraj Singh ji lived their life for Gurmat Prachar, or the last part of their very short life. They served to their full potential with and according to the vision that Sadhguru ji had blessed them with, the Khalsa Panth. And as I've said yesterday as well, that it is the tradition of the Khalsa that in the mornings to perform the Katha of Salok Sehaskrithee, and then in the evenings to perform Katha of jaitsree vaar. Sad Sangat ji, yesterday Sadhguru Sahib ji blessed us and the Katha of the first Shabads of Salok Sehaskrithee by Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj ji was performed. Because Bhai Jagraj Singh ji was an Amritari Gursikh and especially a pracharak of the Khalsa Panth, seek to inspire, and all of our sevadars paid tribute to Bhai Sahib ji. And also with this Katha, we are attempting to serve all of the Guru Sangat and channel our emotions and our bhavna into the light of Gurmat and Gurbani. So Sad Sangat ji, with much further ado, ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਸਲੋਕ ਆ ਸਹਿਸਕ੍ਰਿਤੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ, ਇਹ ਹੁਣ ਪੰਚਮ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਸਲੋਕ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਆ। ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਧਰਨ ਗਗਨ ਨਵਖੰਡ ਮਹਿ ਜੋਤ ਸਰੂਪੀ ਰਹਿਓ ਭਾਰ ਭਣ ਮਥਰਾ ਕੁਛ ਭੇਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੁਰੇ ਅਰਜਨ ਪ੍ਰਤੱਖ ਹਰ। Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji is God incarnate. At a very small age, the grandfather of third Guru Palle Amardas Gun Tere Teri Upama Tohe Ban Ave, Shri Guru Amardas Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji refer to them as Dohita Bani Ka Bohita. My grandson is the ship of Gurbani. He will bring Bani, he will create Pothi Parmeshwar Ka Than, Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, and he will do Kirpa on all of humanity and provide the Bani of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Yesterday, we heard the Sakhi of Pandit Gopal Dutt, who came to Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj Ji wishing to engage in a charcha or debate. Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj Ji, Jina di Antakala hoy Thakur Chadya Kala Vaheguru Ji ki Varte, their power was such that a dead dog that was lying there, Sadhguru Ji brought that dog to life and said, Ki Bishandat tere potre aaya. That dog was incarnated, had fell in the cycle of transmigration and reincarnated as a dog. He was the grandfather of Pandit Gopal Dutt that came to Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj Ji. Sadhguru Sahib Ji, through the 4 sloks of Sehaskriti Bani, they redeemed both Gopal Dutt and they blessed the Pandits of Kashi with Sikhi, and also they blessed Pandit Bishan Dutt, who had fallen into the June of a dog, with redemption, with salvation in the form that he wanted. So Satguru Garib Nawaz Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj Ji, now in their 5th form, Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji, are compiling Gurbani of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji. They are sat at Ramsar Sahib. This is a Gurdwara Sahib in the city of Sri Amritsar Sahib, where all of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji was written by Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj by Gurdas Sahib Ji as the scribe. Meanwhile, about 1700 kilometers to the south, in the city of Kashi, the city of gods of Benares, of Shivji, that city that was the academic and spiritual center for Hindus for thousands of years, and today too hosts an array of Indian scholars and spiritual academics. In that city, the descendants of Gopal Dutt, Pandit Harilal Ji, Pandit Krishan Lal Ji, they were the grandchildren or the great-grandchildren of Pandit Gopal Dutt Ji that had met with Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. They, like their forefathers, were very well versed. They were very academic, Sad Sangat Ji. Bahut sare granth padhe, par bahut shastar, bahut simrati, pekhe sarb tadol, pujas nahi har hare, Nanak naam amol. Without naam, Sad Sangat Ji, and that Nanak naam that Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj Ji gives, one does not find peace. Chandan chandana sardarut mool na mitei kaam, Sheetal thive nanika japandro har naam. And for that reason, they are looking on ways to make their own mind peaceful, because man jeeta jag jeet. What's the point of engaging in debates? What's the point in engaging and impressing other people? The whole focus is man samjhavan karane kachwak padiye gyan. The reason that we educate ourselves is so that we can explain to our mind that this is the purpose of life. Why are you going in another direction? Apne man nu samjhaun vaste gyan di prapti bande nu karni chahidi hai. Par Sad Sangat Ji, jadon bahut sare granth padhe, apne vishay vikar jittan di koshish ਕੀਤੀ, they managed to subdue to an extent their ego, their lust, their greed. But Sad Sangat Ji, one thing still afflicted them, And that was very, very strong. ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਬਲ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਸੀ। ਉਹ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਸੀ? What sin, what vice was this? This was the vice of attachment of more. And Sad Sangat Ji, Satguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji's Bani is for humans. It tells us to have a nirmal prem, love that is true, that comes out of fear and respect. Attachment in itself is a jail, it's a prison. Attachment leads to a person being incarcerated, a person being imprisoned in such a situation that they can't make the right decision. A person that is veiled by more, that is veiled by attachment, can never ever make the right decisions for their life, that is spiritually and also in a worldly sense also. Now Gursikhs have prescribed this Bani of Salok Sehaskrithee to be done after the demise of a Gursikh for the next 10 days. And Pandit Harilal and Krishan Lal, they are looking in their books, they are looking in their library to find any remedy for attachment. Sare Granth veekh le, kite moh vaste kuch nahi likhya. Because if you look at the spiritual texts, the Rishi Munis, Vyas, Vishishta, Vishwamitra, they were still attached to their families, they were still attached to other people, to kingdoms and kings, and they all had some form of more inside of them. So Sad Sangat Ji, they are looking in their library, and in their own library, their household library, they come across a puthi, a text, a book. And in that puthi, in that old manuscript, what do they find? They find the 4 sloks of Tan Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj Ji. They find that Bani, Bani Guru, Guru hai Bani, which Bani Amrit Sare. They find what they're looking for. They find the remedy to the anguish, to the anxiety, to the attachment of their mind. And that Bani gives them so much peace and solace. That's the nature. E Bani di tasiriya Sad Sangat Ji. But Sad Sangat Ji, alongside God's name, there is something else that this soul yearns for, without which there is not complete peace. Where Bani has told us that there is nothing more serene and cool than Bani, utte neh Seetalang Chandra Deva hai, neh Seetalang Bhavan Chandan hai, neh Seetalang Seetratte, Nanak Seetalang Sad Swajana hai. In this Bani of Sehaskriti, Satguru Sahib Ji tells us, there is nothing as peaceful, as tranquil as the company, as the presence, as the vision of a complete saint, Sad Sangat Ji. And there is no other complete saint in the universe that was as complete, as great as Tan Shri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji. So they asked the Kashi Di Sangat, who does this Bani belong to? And they explain that this is the Bani of Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj Ji. Can we meet Guru Nanak Dev Ji? And the Sangat tells them that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj Ji has merged their light into the light of Akal Purkh Vaheguru. They become sad. But then the Sangat tells them, Jot Roop Harab Guru Nanak Kahayo, Tate Angad Payo, Tatsyo Tat Milayo, Angad Kirpa Tar, Amar Sadgur Tirkiyo, Amar Das, Amrit Chhatar Gur Ram Mehdiyo, Gur Ram Das, Darsan Pars Keh Mathura Amrit Bain, Murt Panch Praman Purkh Guru Arjan Pikho Nain, Shri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji, de ina Naina de Nal Darshan Karlo. Go to Shri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, because they are one and the same form of Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj Ji. So they come to Tan Shri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji at Sri Ramsar Sahib, and Shri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji blesses them with this Pavitr Bani, which is Katha we are beginning now. So Sad Sangat Ji again, Gurbani is the word of Akal Purkh Vaheguru. Prabh Ji Basa Sad Ki Rasana, Jaisi mein aave khasum ki bani, taisra kari gyan velalo. And I am but a fickle, a meek human being with limited intellect. Kaha Buddha Prabh tuchh hamari, barn sake mehma jo tihari. And for that reason, I ask all of the Sangha that is listening, man birtiyan nu ekagar karo, focus your mind, khyala nu antarmukh karo, try and delve into the realm of your own mind and focus and contemplate on the Guru's word. Sabte uttam har ki katha, naam sunte dard dukh latha, te bade prem de naal asis baksho ji. Satnam Sri Vahe Guru Sahib Ji. Salok Sehaskrithee Mahalla Panjama. Is Salok chalde a. Salok is the name of a poetic composition. Main kal vi benti kiti si. If you think of the context in which we are performing this Katha, in memory you could say, or not just in memory, Sad Sangatji, because Gursikh does not attach you to any one personality. Whether it is a Mahapurush that demises from this earth, or whether it is a Pracharak like Bhai Jagraj Singh ji, the focus is always on Shabad Guru Surtatun Chela, the Shabad, the Guru's history and the Guru's Shabad. Shabad Guru Surtatun Chela. So Salok, what does Salok mean? Salok means it is a name of a poetic composition, but in a spiritual sense, इन्हें अपने लोक तक लेके जाना. Every time that you hear this meaning, this arth, think of the nature of Gurbani. Gurbani is like that Humayun Pank, that Shri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji was given an arrow by the Rishi Narad, and that arrow, it was attached with a feather. That feather came from this bird that was said to fly in the skies. That bird is called Humayun Panchi, and it is said to live in the heavens, and it never comes down. Now the virtue or the greatness or the power that bird is said to have is this, that its feathers always unite with that bird. So Narad Muni gave some feathers of the Humayun Panchi to Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji. Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji attached those feathers to an arrow and shot that arrow in the air. And they asked the Gursikhs that go out and find me my arrow. When the Gursikhs went to find that arrow, they could not find the Khalsa, the Singhs could not find that arrow. Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji told them that you asked me once about the nature of Gurbani, that is there a purpose of reading Gurbani if we don't really understand it? This is your reply. Gurbani is like the Humayun Pank. Salok, apne lok vich le janda, like that feather united that arrow with that bird. In that same way, Guru Sahib di Bani Salok ine apne lok de naal, with your own realm, mantu jot saroop hai, apna mool pashan, atma da milap bakhsh dena ya. ये जेडे पंच कोश या अनुमय, मनोमय, pranmay, vigyanmay, anandamay, all of these different shields, layers. For example, Sad Sangat Ji, there are chocolates or sweets in the world, and they have packaging and they have wrappers in different layers. You have to take all of those wrappings, that packaging off, and then you attain the sweetness. In that same way, our soul has different senses, different layers that are like sheaths on a sword. And in that way, all those sheaths have to be removed until we get to that blade, that Giani Khadag, that will unite us with Akal Purkh Vaheguru. Salok Sehaskrithee. Sehaskriti is the name of the language of this Gurbani. So this language is older than even Sanskrit. It comes from the Prakrit Pasha. Sehaskriti, Sheshnag is a mythological being in the context of the world. He does exist according to Gurbani and Dasam Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji. Sheshnag has 1,000 heads, and that Sheshnag, what he does is he is constantly reciting different names or new names of God. And that Sheshnag, the names that he recited, lots of poets and lots of writers have attributed their books to him in India. So the language that they used, that Sanskrit Pasha, that is the language of this Gurbani. This Sehas means 1,000, and Kirti means sift. Nirbaan Kirtan gavoh karte ka, nimk simrat jit chhuta hai. Kirtan karna Sad Sangat Ji. Kirtan nirmolak hira. So to praise Vaheguru thousands of times, that is the purpose and the fal, the fruition of this Bani, the fruition, the purpose of this Bani. Mahalla Panjama, Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji is reciting this Bani. Ik oankar satnam karta purkh nirpao nirvair akal murat juni sa pangur prasad. There is one unmatched God. He is unparalleled in all of the universe. There is no one like God. God is unique. We are monotheistic in our belief. Oankar, he is the enlightener of everyone. Without his light, without his energy, we are but corpses ourselves. Until Vahiguru's light remains inside of us, we are functioning. Satnam, true is his name. Karta, he is the creator of the whole universe. Purkh, he is complete in every aspect, in every facet. Nirpao, he is without fear. Nirvair, he is without hate. Akal Murat, his form is without the constraint of time. Ajuni or Ajanma hai. He is without birth and therefore without death. Sapang Sute Prakash, he is self-illuminating. He is the powerhouse for himself. He does have no external force like the sun lights the moon and so forth, and the moon lights many of the stars in the night sky. Sapang, Vaheguru is the source of all light in the universe. And how can we meet with him? Gur Prasad, through the grace of Tan Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. Katanch Mata, Katanch Pita, Katanch Banita Binod Sutahe. ये बाणी हरी लाल ते कृष्ण लाल ने मोदी निवृत्ति वास्ते पूछी. They asked Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, how can we become free of attachment? So if you think of the emotions that we are all going through at this present time, much of the Sangat, we cannot even imagine the anguish or that Bhai Sahib Ji's family, although I am assured that Satguru Sahib Ji will bless them with the ability to remain loyal and understanding of Satguru Sahib Ji's Bana. However, naturally, separation is such a thing, Sad Sangat Ji. Even if a Brahm Giani passes away, contemplating or reflecting on my own life, even if a Mahapurush passes away, Gurbani tells us that Brahm Giani Sad Jiva Nahi Marta. That a Brahm Giani never really dies, he is constantly living. Because your soul never ever dies, because the soul is the form of Akala Purkh Vaheguru. But my own understanding on it is that Gurbani is speaking on a platform, on a level that we may at one stage in our life, we might get there. But currently, the way that I am, I can say for myself, I do not have Brahma Drishti. Brahma means God. I do not have a God-like vision. I am not self-realized. I'm not enlightened. What I have Cham Drishti. My eyes are made of flesh and bone alone. I do not have any other vision. And what I see is flesh and bone. Therefore, because my eyes are attached to flesh and bone, I will feel that pain. So, in terms of this Gurbani, it frees us of more and of attachment. So you can understand why Gursikhs of previous centuries, of the times of the Guru, prescribed the Katha of this Bani. This Bani begins, Katanch Mata, Katanch Pita. Katanch means one of three things. Katanch can mean kitne, how many. Katanch can mean kadon de, so from when. And Katanch can also mean until when, kado tak. So Katanch Mata, Katanch Pita, Katanch Bandita Binod Sutahe. Think about it. Contemplate in your mind. Since when have you had your mother? You have had a mother since your body came into formation. So where will your relationship with your mother last until this body finishes? And then, kitne, how many? You have had countless mothers and you had countless fathers in countless lives. Katancha Mata, Katancha Pita, the same refers to your father. How many fathers, how many times have you been a son, and how many times have you had a different father in different life forms? And until when will your relationship with your father last? Katancha Banita Binod Sutaha. Binod, the name of these Kautuks, of these things that make you happy, that your wife does, that your children do, the games of your small children, and the enjoyment, the company that you had of your wife. Katancha Banita Binod Sutaha. How long do all of these things last? Well, the answer, Sad Sangaji, is that they last until the body lasts. Katancha Prat Meet Hit Bandava, Katancha Moho Kutambyate. Kinne chir tak tere pra de naal tera sambandh baniya rehenda with your friends, and then you are constantly hit the bandhav. You are always looking out for your relationships. But until when are you able to look out for them, or until when is your mind focusing on them? Katanch moh kutambyate, jida e ant to rehat, without end you have this attachment with your family. Until when is that going to last? Until when will it finish? And how many times have you had a different set of parents? How many times, because the way that Gurbani explains reincarnation and relationships is this, that kade puttar ban ke seva kiti, you served someone as a son, and then that father becomes your son and serves you. This whole world and every relationship is transactional, whether that is of a husband, a wife, whether that is of friends or any other relation. ये पूरब कर्म के मिले संजोगी, अंते को न सहाय. We have found all of these relationships through our past lives and the transactions that were pending. Those pending transactions are what are known as pralabd, and they are carried as a form of karam in this world. Katanch chapal mohani rupang pekhante tyagam krot. Katanch kinne chir tak chapal, jidi chanchalya, mohani rupang, beautiful Maya, or Maya appears to be beautiful. People refer to alcohol, or I've seen people that drink and they ask the other person that drinks, what's your poison? The reason they do that is because they know what they are drinking is poison, but at that time it appears, Katanch chapal mohani rupang, it appears as very, very beautiful. It appears as something that is going to free them. But that's not the truth. Kinne chir tak katanch chapal mohani rupan kinne chir tak tu isda moh kari javenga. It hai ta mohaniya. It's designed to be magnetic, to attract you, to engulf you. But now that you have Gurbani and you have this knowledge, for how long will you continue your life in this way? बेखंते त्यागं क्रोत, तेरे देखदियां देखदियां ये माया तेनू छड़ जावेगी. Whilst you are still seeing, because when you depart from this world, as your body is leaving, Gurbani has talked about that you can see the actions of your family when you're leaving this universe. Many Gursikhs witness lots of things as they pass away. Jathedar Gurdial Singh Ji Boparaye was a student of Sant Giani Sundar Singh Ji Khalsa Pindrawale. After the departure of Sant Giani Sundar Singh Ji, Giani Gurdial Singh Ji Boparaye Wale Jathedar Ji, they were given the duty of looking after the whole Gurdwara. As you know, the seva of Damdami Tiksal, the seva of Katha, of teaching new students and passing on the art of Gurbani was passed on to Sant Giani Gurbachan Singh Ji Khalsa Pindrawale. But the Gurdwara building in itself and all of its management was left with Jathedar Gurdial Singh Ji Boparaye Wale. At that time, because they were senior in age to Mahapurakh themselves, they considered themselves at that time to be the head of the Asthan of the Dera of Gurdwara Akhand Prakash. And what they would do is that they would manage every different facet. And if Mahapurush even gave their opinion once that Jathedarji, I feel that this should be done in this way, then they would correct them. That the duty of the Gurdwara is mine, you were only given the duty of leading them to Taksal and performing the seva of Katha. That was their nature, that was their sabah. But towards the end of their life, or during their life, they realized that this was Brahm Gyani Aap Parmesar, that this is the form of God themselves. And Sad Sangaji Pekhante Tyagam Kurot, how a Gursikh sees this world at the last stage. They asked to see Sant Giani Gurbachan Singh Ji Khalsa Pindrawale, and they asked them that Mahapurush, I wish for you to forgive me. I wish for you to say that Jathedar Gurdial Singh, I forgive you for you did not recognize me. And Mahapurush Sad Sangat Ji constantly, repeatedly kept saying that you're my senior. How can I say that I forgive you? You've not really ever offended me in any way. What you said was as an elder and I respect that. But Sad Sangat Ji Jathedar Ji said, मैं हाथ जोड़ के बेनती करदा, if once you could just say that you forgive me, and that way I will go from this world without any tension or any anxiety in my mind, or without any thought that have I made a mistake. A Mahapurush joined them with the Guru even further and said that, do not look at me for forgiveness, because the only person that can really forgive is Satguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji. So what we can do is, as per Maryada, we can send 5 Singhs, and those Singhs can perform an ardas for you. So when the 5 Singhs went inside and they performed the ardas, they had just raised the Jakara, Sadh Sangat Ji. And just as they had raised the Jakara after the ardas to ask forgiveness from Satguru Sahib Ji for any mistakes that Jathedar Gurdial Singh Ji knowingly or unknowingly made in their life, when they raised that Jakara, at that same time, Jathedar Gurdial Singh Ji, in that room were many different Gursikhs, and they said to all of the Sangat and Mahapurush that I can see all Panch Pyare, Pyare Bhai Daya Singh Ji, Pyare Bhai Dharam Singh Ji, Pyare Bhai Himmat Singh Ji, Pyare Bhai Mohakam Singh Ji, Pyare Bhai Sahib Singh Ji, all of these great Gursikhs have come to take me. And then they said Fateh to the Panch Pyare, and they said Fateh to all of the Khalsa Sadh Sangat that was in the room, and they left this universe. Katanch Chapal Mohani Rupang Pe Khante Tyagang Kurota. But Sadh Sangat Ji, even an average person, as they leave this world, there is a period that they can see everything around them. They can see कि देखदे और सब कुछ त्यागना पवेगा. On the other hand, an alternative meaning to this pankti is Katanch Chapal Mohani Rupang Pe Khante Tyagang Kurot. Whilst everyone is looking at you, whilst your mother, father, anyone else might be present in that room, then you still leave this world. Thanu tyag karna hi penda ya. Rahant sang Bhagwan Simran Labdyang Nanik Labdyang Achut Tan hai. Sadhguru Sahib Ji says, then what remains? Rahant sang Bhagwan Simran, the only thing that stays with you is the Simran that you've done, the Bhakti and the Kamai that you have done. And where can we find that Simran? Can we do Simran by ourselves? Sadhguru Sahib Ji says that Gurmat is Nanik Labdhyang Achut Tanhe. Achut is a name for God. It means God that never falls. He is always still. He is always permanent. Tanhe is the name for children. So God's children, who are God's children, Sadh Sangat Ji? Sangha alape hai atho nandan. God's children, Safal Janam Har Janka Upjaya, Jin Kino Sant Vidata, the children of Akal Purkh Vaheguru are his saints, his Mahapurush, his great Gurmukhs. In putran ke शीश पर बार दिए सुत चार चार मुए तो क्या हुआ जीवत लाख हजार. All of the Khalsa Sadh Sangat is Sadhguru Sahib Ji's child. So Guru Sangat Kini Khalsa Manmukhi Dohela, coming into the Sangat of the Khalsa, then we can attain Rahant Sang Bhagwan Simran Nanik Labdhyang Achut Tanhe. Trigant Mat Pita Sneham Trig Sneham Prat Bandhavah. Hari Chand and Krishan Lal, they ask Sadhguru Sahib Ji, then Sadhguru Sahib Ji is all type of more bad for us. And then Sadhguru Sahib Ji says, no, only the attachment, more in itself is bad, but loving and serving your parents, having a relationship with your family, treating and respecting and raising your children and educating them is not a sin. However, if any of these relationships remove you from God, what is the definition of a kurehat? A rehat is any action that is prescribed by Guru Sahib to unite us with Vaheguru, that is rehat. And anything that removes us from Vaheguru, that is a kurehat. In that same way, if the attachment of our mother and father is stopping us, it's acting as a hurdle for us taking Amrit. If the relationship with our wife, with our children, is becoming a hurdle in our spirituality, then of course Sadhguru Sahib Ji is saying that you have to distance yourself, because there is nothing higher in this human life than to pay parapat manuk de huriya gobind mirand ki hai teri bariya, than to unite with Vaheguru. Sadhguru Sahib Ji uses the word in this Shabad, Trigantamat Pita Snehang, Trig Snehang Prat Bandhavah. The word Trig is an insult. You may have heard the term fitte mu in Punjabi. If you say fitte mu, which is a casual insult, 100 times, then it becomes one lanat. Then one lanat, a lanat is something that is a taunt. It is a taunt that is very condescending. And if you use that taunt 100 times, or saying or giving someone a lanata 100 times, that equates to a trigkar. Trigkar is the ultimate insult that a human, a person can go through. And Satguru Sahib Ji says, Trigant, ant to bina, endless trigkar on a person that chooses mat pita snehang, trig snehang prat bandhavah, and then the attachment of their brothers and all of their relatives over the attachment, over the love, over the devotion, over Gursikhi itself. Ona nu trigkar hai. If you think in the context of Bhagat Prahlad Ji ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਰ ਜੁਗ ਜੁਗ ਭਗਤੀ ਉਪਾਇਆ ਪੈਜ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਆਇਆ ਰਾਮ ਰਾਜੇ ਹਰਨਾਕਸ ਦੁਸ਼ਟ ਹਰ ਮਾਰਿਆ ਪ੍ਰਹਿਲਾਦ ਤਰਾਇਆ. Prahlad had to choose his faith, his devotion in Vaheguru over his relationship with his father and his Pua and his mother and many other different people. That same thing, Sadh Sangat Ji, came in the life of Bhagat Namdev Ji when they were about to be persecuted, and their mother encouraged them that why don't you just take Islam as a religion. Bhagat Namdev Ji refused. In the time of the Mughals, when the Sikhs were being persecuted, they were going line by line, and one young Singh Sadh Sangat Ji, who had converted from the Brahman religion, from the Hindu religion, his mother made an appeal that my son is only young and he's a Hindu, he's not a Sikh, he was born in our family, please do not persecute him. The Mughals listened to his mother's appeal and they sent her to the line where the Singhs were being beheaded one by one. And that mother went to her son and she said, come, I've got freedom for you, I've bought you bail, I've bought you a chance to reduce your sentence and leave this death row that you're standing on. And the son turned around, Gantamat pita snehang. You're not my mother, I do not know even who you are, because my mother is Jagat Mata, Mata Sahib Devan Kaur Ji. My Mata is the Mata of the Khalsa. My Mata is Mata Jito Ji, Mata Sundari Ji, upon whom Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji gave the blessings that the whole of the Khalsa is your child. So Trigant Mat Pita Snehang, Trig Snehang Prat Bandhavah, and Trigkar, us Sne te una Prama de, te una Bandhava Rishtedaran de, those relatives that encourage you or tell you that your dastar does not look right, that tell you have some alcohol, that tell you that there is no harm in having meat. Trig Snehang Banita Bilasute, and then your attachment, your love for your wife, your spouse, bilas, the enjoyment and the actions that you perform with your spouse, the attachment that you have on that physical relationship, and then with sutehe, with your children, and how you become attached to your children. Because we are raising our children, Sadh Sangat Ji, we are tending our children. There is a story in the Bible, I'm sure many of you are aware of it, that Abraham was asked to sacrifice the thing that is most precious to him, and he had to sacrifice his only son Israel. And instead of sacrificing Israel, his child, what he did, or what his followers did, was they took a cloth and they blindfolded him, and then as per his instructions, or the Bible tells the story that God essentially said that I don't want you to sacrifice your children, so just bring a goat or a sheep and you can a lamb, and then you can sacrifice that goat. And in that way, Abraham did that, and then he was then forgiven, and he can continue to be a prophet, and he was tested, and he apparently succeeded in his test in that way. What we have to remember is Trig Snehang Banita Bilasute. Our children, we are raising them as the children of Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. They don't really belong to us. Jiski bastis aage rakhe prabh ki aagya mane mathe. Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji sacrificed all 4 of their children. Why did they do that? They did that for the teaching that these children were Akal Purkh Vahegurus. They've come for a purpose. They are serving their purpose, and I am happy as they are becoming Shaheed. That was a teaching to all of us, because these children that we have, that we are blessed by the Guru Sad Sangat Ji, these children are for service of the Panth. Trig Sneham Griharth Keh. Isi tarike de naal trig, o sneh, that attachment that we have for Griharth Keh, for Arthaka means for the purpose of our house. So with our job, with the things that we do to sustain ourselves, to buy more luxuries, the attachment we have with our house and all of our household goods, that too, Sadhguru Sahib Ji says, Uttarig ka ar hai. Then Sad Sangat Ji, what more should we have? What attachment should we develop? Because all of the vices, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Hankar, they can be transformed. Lust, desire can be transformed into the desire of Sadhguru Sahib Ji's darshan. Hankar, arrogance can be transformed into the pride over our Gursikhi. Our more we will hear about in this Pankti, but we can develop our attachment into the attachment of the Khalsa Panth, of always being in the Sangat. Sad Sangat Ji, in that same way, we can have greed of Sadhguru Ji's darshan, of Simran, of Bhajan, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, all of these five. So Sad Sang Suneh Satyam, Sukhyam Vasant Nanak Hai. Sadhguru Sahib Ji says that Sad Sangat da jeda Suneya, o Satya, it is truth. The love that you have, that you make with the Sad Sangat, that attachment that you develop with the Sangat, that lasts, that redeems us, that frees us, and for that reason it is true. And alternatively, Sad Sang Suneh Satyam, like the love of the Sangat is true, in that same way the Sad Sang Suneh Satyam, the Sad Sangat has love with the truth. It has love with Akal Purkh Vaheguru. साध संगत कैसी जानिए जिथे एको नाम वखानी है साध संग स्नेह सत्यंग सुखयंग बसंत नानक है. In that way we will merge and we will live in peace with happiness, and then we will merge into the form of Vaheguru. The third slok begins Mithyanta dehang khinant balanang. So now, from removing us from attachment of other people, then we have attachment of our own bodies. Until the attachment of our bodies does not finish, Sad Sangat Ji, we cannot be salvated, we cannot be redeemed, we cannot merge with Vaheguru. So this selfie culture that we have is a form of attachment with our own body. All these photographs that we have are a form of that. Mithyanta deham khinanta barnam. Sadhguru Sahib Ji tells us that our body is mithya. Mithya anhoi vastu hai. But anhoi vastu hoi prateet kare, that is the name for mithya. What that means is, mithya is something did not exist in the past, it will not exist in the future, but mithya is that in this present time it doesn't actually exist. However, it kind of appears to exist, and for that reason it is mithya. The word mythology in English comes from Greek, and then that Greek language comes from the Indo-Iranian language. So mithyanta dehan khinanta balanang. And constantly, once we raise our body from childhood to adolescence, and then from adolescence into our youth, once our body jalisi pur hoye, once we get to the age of around 40, no matter how strong we are, our body continues to decline. That power and that strength that we accumulated, holi khinant balanang, it begins to reduce. Vardanta jarua hityanta maya. Budappa, old age, falls upon us. But still, hityanta maya, you may have seen many old people that they have come to the age of retirement. However, they are still very, very fixated on money, on everything that they have accumulated, how to invest it, how to pass it on to the next generation. But Sad Sangat Ji, Sadhguru Sahib Ji says that Bardanta Jarua, but the irony is that Hityanta Maya, it does not stop here. Atyante Asa Atitya Pavanam. We have asa, hopes and desires without end. But we do not remember, we don't understand that this world is like a hotel. Atithya Pavanang, in a hotel, Atithya is the name for a prana. Abhyagat, any visitor that comes to an inn, that checks in to a hotel, for example. You stay there for some days, then you have to come out. This world is an Atithya Pavanang. It is a hotel in its own sense. Gananta swasa payan tarmang. And in that hotel, everything that you eat, everything that you drink, every facility that you take on, this is a very basic hotel. Everything is being accounted for. How difficult is that stay then in that hotel? How are we forgotten that this hotel belongs, it has an owner, it has Akal Purkh Vaheguru and his servants looking after it, looking over us. And in this world hotel that we could say, Gananta Swasa, every breath is being counted. We cannot even count the breaths in one day, but Vaheguru and his accountant Dharmaraj is accounting. Payan Dharmang. Dharmaraj, who is very scary, who puts fear, he becomes Jamraj and sends the Jamdut for people that do Paap. That Dharmaraj is constantly counting, Payan, Sarya vich Peh Paryaya. But we've forgotten all of that. How? Patanta Moho Kupa Durlabhya Dehang. Our body that we got through great difficulty, Durlabh De Jiriye Paiya, Ita Patanta Moho Kupa. As you know, we use the word patit for anyone that performs a Bajr Kurat. Patit essentially means to fall. In the context of Gurbani, Patant Moh Kupa, in this well that is attachment, we have fallen into it. Tat Asrayam Nanak. And then what should we do? That true form of Vaheguru, Tat Tera Os Roop Vaheguru Os da Asra Takiye. Tat, the true substance in this world, we should attach ourselves to that. Govinda, 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 Gopal Kripa. In that way, Govinda, that Vaheguru, that is Indriya da Prakashik, that enlightens, that makes our body function. Govinda, jira bani karke janiya janda, that we can know through scripture. Te Govinda, jira sari srishti da bij swarupya, that is the seed of all of this universe. Gopal Kripa, jira sari srishti nu pal raya. Then like that seed grows into a plant, and that plant is sustained from the mother's womb until our last breath. Akal Purkh Vaheguru continues to bestow his blessings upon us. Continuing this theme of the body, Akal Purkh Vaheguru Shri Guru Arjan Dev Ji continues, Kaj kotang rachant toyang lepnang rakt charman hai. What is our body? A body that we may have fashioned, a body that we may have altered. Janam Sakhi tells us, Sabat Surat Rab Di Panne Beiman, Darge Toi Namale Kafir Kutta Shaitan. Jidi Sabat Surat Vaheguru ne Dittiya, anyone that alters it, anyone that changes the appearance of that body, whether that is by tattoo, whether that is by any piercings, whether that is by cutting our hair, anyone that does that is a perpetrator of Vaheguru, and Satguru Sahib Ji says, obey Manya. He is not trustworthy because he has deceived Vaheguru. He has deceived Vaheguru because Vaheguru gave him a form on the basis that he would take care of this body, but he has chosen to alter it against the wishes of Akal Purkh Vaheguru. So what is this body like? Think of what we consider our body to be. Think of how we think this body is magical, the way that it works, how strong we think our bodies are, how good that we think that our bodies look. And then think of what Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj is about to say. Kaj kotang rachant toyang. Ye duniya kacha kothaya. If you've ever been to India, before buildings were built from mud, and when rain came, they were built from mud and clay in a way. They weren't they weren't made from big bricks that had been solidified in a furnace. So what would happen? There would be lots of leaks. If you can imagine a leak in the roof here or anywhere. Kaj kotan, this body ek kachi deya. in the mother's womb, it is even lighter than a petal of a flower. Originally, that is the weight from which we come about in. Kaj kotan e kacha kotan ya rachant toyan. And it was made through the mother's blood and the father's water, so that sperm. Rachant toyan, so essentially it was made from fluids. So something that was made from fluids and kachi hove, ude vich kinna ku bal hai. Lepanang rakt charman hai. Thank Vaheguru 1,000 times that on top of this body, he gave us a lepanang, like a house, a wall is plastered. He gave us the plaster of our skin. If our skin was not there, then flies, insects would infect us constantly and we could not survive. The skin is jehdi twacha hai, eh Vaheguru ne lep kita on top of the blood. Lepanang rakt charman hai. And then think further. Navant dwarang peet rahatang by rupa sthamban. We have alarm systems in this country for our houses. We secure every door and every window before we leave our house. However, if you think of a balloon or a tire, one puncture, one little hole in that balloon, the air goes. One puncture in the tire, that air is constantly coming out. And if you think of this body functions with air. Prana de sahare nale de chaldi hai. But is it sealed? No, we have 9 openings in the body. Navant dwarang peet rahatang. Par oh band hi rehnde a. Par khulle vi a. Aj meriyan akkhan vi khulliyan, kan vi khulle, muh vi khulla. But my soul is not escaping. This is the magic of Akal Purkh Vaheguru. And then we have walls that are very strong. In the ceiling, asi lenter paunde ha, is vaste te thumb banaunde ha. We make pillars to sustain any worldly construction. What pillars are there in the body? Bhai rupa stambana. The pillars are made from a breath. Breath you cannot even see. You can touch through it. You can not even, it's gas. Gas has no weight or no physical dimension that we can see. By rupa stambana hai. Gobind namang neh simrant Giani janant asthirang. Then still we do not do simran. If you know that the body is so fickle that it has no power of its own, it is being functioned only by this external battery which is Akal Purkh Vaheguru's light, then why not do that simran and constantly recharge yourself? Agyani janant asthirang. Because we become foolish. Asi agyani ban janne ha, te asi jaan lanne ha ki eh deh, we begin to consider that this body is always going to remain. Durlabh deh udrant sad saran nanak. This body can be redeemed, it can be alleviated, it can be cured, it can be healed. We can become free of this body, and then we can become Videh Mukta Durlabh Deh Udrant Sad Saran Nanak, coming into Sangat. Har 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 Hare Japant. ਇਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਦਾ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਮਨ ਕਰਕੇ, ਵਾਣੀ ਕਰਕੇ, ਸਰੀਰ ਕਰਕੇ, ਬੁੱਧੀ ਕਰਕੇ, in all these different ways, ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਫਿਰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਹਰਿਆ ਭਰਿਆ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲਾ, ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਰਾਜਾ ਸਰੂਪ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਆ, why do we not contemplate on him? This is the theme of this Gurbani. Subhant toyang achut gunagyang purnang bahalo kripala. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji says, like in Sukhmani Sahib they say, je koi sobha nu lordaya, if someone wants praise for themselves, subhant toyang je tu sobha chaunaya, achut gunagyang, o achut Vaheguru, that Vaheguru that never falls, una de guna da de gyate bano. Become knowledgeable, have knowledge of the things that Vaheguru does for you. If your wife makes you a cuisine, a dish, a dinner, a meal, and then you do not have knowledge of the effort that has been into that, then you can't really appreciate how much effort, then your praise is fickle. You have to understand how much effort someone puts into something. In that same way, we are required as human beings कि सुबंत तोयंग अच्युत गुणज्ञं, that we learn ourselves the virtues of Akal Purkh Vaheguru, that how he is constantly sustaining all of us. Purno Bahalo Kripala, that he is complete in every single facet. Te o kirpa di drishti karda hai. Gambirang Ucha Sarbag Apara. We have to understand that he is deeper than even the oceans. And then he is higher than even the skies. Sarbag. There is nothing that he does not know. Pritya Prayang Bisaram Charanang. He is beloved to his Pagats. O Pagatan Jana nu pyara ya. Una nu o Pagat Vachal Pratit hunda ya. But people that are atheists, people that are denial of his existence, people, on the other hand, that do not understand his virtue, are troubled by spirituality. They are troubled by his presence. They are intimidated by his existence that actually cannot be denied in this universe. And Visram Charnan, Uttika Baksh Dindaya, he can give us rest within his Charna Kamala, his lotus feet. Anath Nathe Nanak Saranang, and he is the one that gives sanctuary to the orphans. We are all really orphans because in this universe there is no one that sustains us. And then if you think of the countless universe that does not have family, that is trafficked, that is subject to slavery, Akal Purkh Vaheguru still in some way or form continues to provide them hope to live. And that hope, una di jimmewari chakani, to take responsibility in this world for every single person. O Anath Nathe, he is the person that does that. O Anakhanda Malik Bandaya, Nanak Saranang, and we should attain his sanctuary. Mrigi pe khant badik praharin lakh avidehe. In this next Shabad, they ask Sadhguru Sahib Ji that Maharaj, we are engulfed in attachment. This is Hari Lal, Krishna Lal that have come to Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj. And Maharaj, we see ourselves rotting in the pits of hell. We see ourselves burning and screaming, Papi karm kamavde karde hai hai. Nanak ji o mathan madhaniya te o mathe dharam rae. Sadhguru Ji, is God strong? Is God, has he so much power? Is he so almighty that he can actually save us? And Sadhguru Ji, we are worldly people and we constantly go through problems and we look for comfort through the attachment that we have in our families. Can that provide us anything? Or is there someone that can redeem us in one blow? Is there someone that can immediately redeem and provide us with ultimate peace? So Satguru Sahib Ji gives an example. Mrigi pe khant badik. There was a hunter. That hunter came out, and what does he see? He sees a deer. O hirni no dekhda te hirni de aukarda samaya. That deer is about to give birth. So what that hunter does is he lies on the ground and he aims his arrow towards the deer that is about to give birth. Jira e janam dein da sama hunda hai. Labor is a very awkward and painful pain that men do not have to endure. Womenkind, our mothers and sisters that have given birth, will know of this. Mrigi pe khand badek. So that was the time that that deer was going through. This is the example. Bhagat Surdas Ji in Gurbani has written a text called Sur Sagar. And Sur Sagar contains this story in the form of Bishan Pads. Main hirni sharan tuhari, kar kirpa girdhari, Raj Lakho Murari, and so forth in Sur Sagar that was written by Bhagat Surdas Ji. That is where the story of this deer appears. So this story, this metaphor is such that this deer is about to give birth. The hunter aims his arrow. On one side there is a tree, and from that tree he hangs a net to trap a jal bashadandaya, so that deer can be trapped. And on the other side he has a hunting dog that is barking to scare and keep that deer in the same position. And then on the fourth side he has lit a fire so that that deer cannot go further in that direction. If it goes further that direction, it will burn. Now the deer has to protect both itself and its children. How does the deer do that? That deer metaphorically calls out to Akal Purkh Vaheguru, and Akal Purkh Vaheguru sends a gust of wind. Through that gust of wind, that net falls into the fire, and that fire engulfs that net. There is a snake that comes out of the forest, and it hits it bites the foot of the hunter. That causes the hunter to shoot his arrow in the wrong direction, and it shoots the dog. So the dog finishes, and then the hunter is bit by the snake. That finishes. The net has been burned. Then the wind caused the clouds to collide, and then through that collision of the clouds, rain came about, and the rain then, it extinguished the fire, and then that deer was free. Now in that same way, Sadh Sangat Ji, the fire is of Trishna, of desire. Lob is a dog in itself. Greed is the dog. That hunter is our own ego. The arrow that it is using is of ignorance. And in that same way, Sadh Sangat Ji, that jal, that net that was put, that is the net of attachment. But as soon as Satguru Sahib Ji does Upadesh Rupi Barkha, or Satguru Sahib Ji gives their teaching, and that teaching represents the wind and then the rain, everything sorts itself out. So Mrigi pe khant badik prahareen lakh avdehe. That deer saw the hunter. She saw the hunter aiming with Shastra, lakh avdehe. Shastran de naal une dekhya that that hunter is going to kill me. But aho jasya rakhen gopal hai. Nanak Rom na chedyate. Jinu mera Vaheguru rakhe. That person that Satguru Akal Purkh Vaheguru sustains, Nanak Rom na chedyate. Uda ik Rom vi, uda vaar vi ni vinga ho sakda. Not even one hair can be removed from their body. We've just gone past the time of, or the day of the Shahidi of Parisar Bhai Taru Singh Sahib Ji. Their hair turned into Lohe diyan tara. We have seen that in recent history with Baba Pritam Singh Ji Ambe Majre Wale as well. So the message of the sixth slok of Sehaskriti is that no matter the calamity, no matter the situation, Akal Purkh Vaheguru can redeem us from it. And with one Upadesh, ik Shabad de naal asi jud jaiye, then everything in itself will fall into place. That is all for the Katha today. May Satguru Sahib Ji give solace and peace and the ability to remain in the Pana of Akal Purkh Vaheguru, to Penji Sukhmani Kaur and the young children of Bhai Jagraj Singh Ji, all of the Guru Khalsa Sadh Sangat Ji. The only thing that we can do as a Qaum, we do not have a tradition of mourning. We do not have a tradition of weeping as a Sangat. If someone is crying through their own varag, I'm not saying that that's wrong, but we do not have a tradition as a Panth. We have a tradition of Haume Tajan Naam Livlavan Pana Manar Panth Ipavan. So no matter how difficult it is, and again I am saying that with the fear of the Guru, because I do not know if I am afflicted with a personal loss of a greater extent at a later stage, and I may fall into the pit of more that was talked about, patanta moho kupa durlabhyanu dehang tat asrang nanik, into that well of attachment myself. But as a Qaum, as a Panth, by our Satguruji, we are instructed to channel our minds towards Gurbani di Sikhya. So Sadh Sangat Ji, that is it today for the Katha. I'm sure that I've not made one, but I've made many mistakes. Again, we are still heavy with heart on the loss of Bhai Jagraj Singh Ji, basics of Sikhi that did a lot of seva for the Khalsa Panth. Of course, Sadh Sangat Ji, some people have made comments or posted on social media that I think are very inappropriate, that they've talked that people had animosity or that there was problems between Jathebandis and Gursikhs. What you must understand is that Bhai Jagraj Singh Ji was a pracharak with a vision, and we are also pracharaks, and we are all trying to carry out the capacity of Satguru Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji's mission to the best of our ability. And there was countless incidents where we shared vichar, and there was a lot of prem. So if some people, our mind automatically goes into negativities, we cannot say for any two people, any two Gursikhs necessarily, that their vichar will always be 100% the same. However, there is always a need for mutual respect, and times like this especially. I remember my last visit to Bhai Jagraj Singh Ji, and what they encouraged me to do at that time, Bhai Jagraj Singh Ji, was to continue to do prachar, shabad de naal jodo, ki tusi hun qaum di maya lende ha, hun qaum di seva vi karo. That was the message that Bhai Jagraj Singh, that is a message of Guru Sahib that they shared with me, and that remembers me, that will stay with me until the end of my life, I hope. So Sad Sangat Ji, Katha di Maryada di Purti kariye. Please bless us. Idde shaam nu tusi 8-9 waje tusi darshan kar sakde ha. Salok jo jaitsree di vaar ya, us de 2 slokan di katha raat nu Guru di Maryada, Guru di dasi hui mat, Gursikha Khalsa di riwayat anusar hovegi. Baksho Asis 2 पंक्तियां पढ़ करके समाप्ति जी। मृगी पे खंत बदिक प्रहरेण लक्ष्य आवद है, अहो जस रखेन गोपाल है, नानक रोम न छेद्यते। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।